Hello, Graham from ArionGames here, and today I want to talk to you about priests in Advanced Fighting Fantasy. Now, in the original trio of books, Dungeoneer, Black Sandilantia, you had priest characters, but they chose their spells from the same spell list as wizards did. They used a very similar skill to cast it, they made the same casting rolls, and they also deducted stamina as wizards did. So effectively they were wizards, but with a different title. And that was really the only difference between them. So one of the things I wanted to do when I wrote Advanced Fighting Fantasy 2nd edition was to make priests something different, something that they are themselves without being just another type of wizard. So we obviously had wizardry, which is where you use magic points. You've got a limited number of spells, but there are quite a few out there. We had sorcery, where you know all the spells and it costs stamina. And then there was minor magic, which don't really cost spell points at all, magic points at all, but are very minor effects, cantrips. So what I then wanted to do was create a separate fourth magic system. Now, I didn't want them just to have a spell list that they cast from. I wanted priests to have powers. I wanted them to feel different. And so what I did was, I gave every different patron god a specific power that their priests could use. So if I look in the book here, and we look at Throth, Earth Goddess, her specific power is may cause a small and localized earthquake with the same effects the wizardry spell Earthquake, although it will only last for 10 seconds or so. It may knock people over, it may even swallow them up in the cracks. So that's their ability. So that is a duplicate of a wizard spell. However, Glantanka, the sun goddess, can cause the bright light of the sun to flood the area. All undead within this area will suffer a -2 penalty to skill, lose 1 stamina per combat round, will illuminate the area as a light spell, and so on. That is not replicated by any wizard spells, that is a specific power. Now, every priest has their own specific power, specific to their god. But that obviously on its own would not be enough to balance them out with the other types of magic. So each priest also has 3 powers chosen from, if you like, a standard list that all priests have varying access to. So Throth has access to create food and water, sanctuary, and heal. Glantank has access to sanctuary, smite versus undead, and heal. Now you notice both of those have the heal ability. Now this is not a really potent heal, not like the original stamina spell in Dungeoneer. In that incarnation of the game, the stamina spell restored your stamina to its full value. This doesn't do that. This restores 5, 6, 7 points, depending on the power of the priest. They both have the heal spell, or ability. And in fact, all of the good and neutral gods offer the heal spell. That is a very intentional design point. In my experience, if you offer 20, 25 different patron gods, the characters will almost always go for one that has healing, unless there's a really potent, combat god or whatever. Because in most games, and this is a D&Dism, but in most games people want to be the priest so that it has some healing capability. And I thought, if I start giving some heal and others not heal, then all the people who play it and all the players who play it, no one's ever going to choose the other gods, so it's pointless putting them in. So I gave everyone the heal ability. All good and neutral priests can heal some points, but all of their 4 powers can only be used as a rule once per day. So a priest at Glantanka can flood the area with light once per day and cause damage to undead and hinder them. Once per day they can create a sanctuary. Once per day they can do quite a lot of damage in combat to undead. Once per day they can heal. So they're not overwhelmingly powerful. They can't just heal up every injury after every fight. That isn't going to happen. They can heal a couple of wounds worth, 2, 3 maybe wounds worth per day. Now, There are two things also about priests. They don't make a roll to use their power, like a wizard has to make a casting roll. If a priest wants to use, a priest of Glantanka wants to use their sunburst ability, they say they're going to use it, it takes the round, they use it. Job done. Okay, and again, that was intentional. They only get a few uses of their powers per day. They don't have to make casting rolls. So of course some players say, well, why do you need more than 1 point in the magic special skill, magic priestly special skill? Well, for a lot of these powers, the effectiveness of them is linked to the magic rating and the magic priestly. So a priest at Glantanka with 5 in magic and 2 in magic special skill can heal 7 points every time they use their power. Their sunburst lasts for 7 rounds. Their sanctuary, I think, lasts for 7 rounds, as does their smite versus undead and so on. A priest of Glantanka with 1 in magic and 1 in magic priestly can do it for 2 rounds. So if you've got 4 powers and their uses are linked to the prowess of the priest, then of course it's much better being a capable priest. But what it also does, it also offers the player a choice. They can still be a priest and have less potent priestly abilities at the start and still be reasonable in a fight, very much the D&D cleric. Or they can go all out priest, wear robes, etc, etc. Could even use minor magic as well. Cantrips and priestly magic is definitely doable. So you have these options because their potency is still linked to their magic and magic priestly. And so you do have a reasonable amount of power as a priest. Now, of course, in extremis, a priest may well want to use their healing ability twice in a day, or sunburst, or whatever. Now, they can do that, but it costs them a luck point. Not a luck roll, a luck point. And you think, well, how much is it? Well, no. But your luck only really recharges by a point here and there throughout adventures when you do something really great, or you make a lucky choice. Or maybe between big adventures. So luck is also used to resist enemy magic. Luck is used to avoid traps. Luck can be used in combat. Now that priest might have 9, 10 luck at the start, if they're human. Well, if on the first day they use a point to use healing twice, and the second day a point to use healing twice, the third day, they're already down 7. They're down to about half chance of making a luck roll now. 1 more luck roll, 1 more use of the luck for that, to reuse their magic, and they're down 6, and then 5, and then 4, and all of a sudden they're going to fall into every trap. They're going to be affected by every spell. So luck is very much a limited, finite resource, and I think a priest that just burns their luck left, right, and centre, reusing their abilities, is going to be in real trouble unless it is absolutely vital. And so again, with priests, you have quite a lot of options. They can wear armour. They could be quite good in a fight. They can be quite good at other special skills. They can be very, very useful in combat. You look at the quite a popular choice, the God of Combat. If I can just find him, I'll find him on the right page. So the God of Combat has an ability that allows his priests to add to their skill, their damage rolls or armor rolls for an entire combat. Well, that's fantastic. It makes them, especially with a bit of extra buffing, say from a wizard spell, it can make them into a veritable combat god avatar at low levels, which I suppose is the intent, but 1 combat per day. So do you use it with the first combat? Do you wait? But if you wait and you miss the really, really difficult combat because you haven't used it in time, you don't use it at all, and then you've wasted it. So there's lots of things to balance when playing a priest. You've got to be really, really careful using your abilities. They're limited, but on the other hand, you've got some really potent abilities. So that's where I'm going to leave it for today. I'm planning to do another one in a couple of days' time to round off the Magic series with Minor Magic, and then we'll move on to some other facets of Advanced Final Fantasy and other games. So in the meantime, thank you very much for listening and good gaming.